that message displayed on screen. That's just for our own instructions.
Look at that.
Look at that. We just gave you some behind the scenes stuff.
Can't
She
hear
can't
you.
hear us apparently.
James.
Oh
Boy, let me tell you.
boy.
It's
It
really
could be
difficult to find good producers these days.
the mic is on the computer. Actually, we did talk about
Hang on, let me look for one.
Canadian
just
trucker.
give me a sec. Let me look for one. Hang on.
Canadian
Hang
trucker
on.
says no audio. We're working on
Okay.
the audio.
There we go. Hello, Canadian trucker. I don't think I've seen your username
Oh, you
pop up
can hear
before.
us now.
Oh, now. Oh, there you go. We're here.
And that's the end of the show.
There it is.
And we're done now.
And we're
thanks,
done. Have a nice day.
Canadian trucker has a very nice trucker. A picture of a truck there.
I know. I like that. It's
Yeah,
rather lovely.
very nice truck.
Welcome.
All right. So, how was everybody's week, Cliff?
It was terrible.
Did you
Did
say
you say it was terrible?
It was terrible.
what?
Why?
Nah, it was okay.
Did you say off air? You're hiring photographers again?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's always that time of year.
It's that time of year. It's busy, right?
Okay,
So
so my question then, Cliffy, if you're doing this every year,
Yeah.
do you is it? It's obviously by contract, like
yeah, it's a con.
yearly contract. Does anybody stick around?
Oh yeah. We had Oh no, yeah. See, we have a certain amount of photographers that we need throughout the year,
Mm.
and it varies depending on
Mm.
how the year is done as far as the schools go, right?
Mhm.
So, I've hired photographers so I have 2 photographers coming back this time, 3 coming back this time that have been with us for 4 years,
Wow.
right?
Cool.
But they come back for the
That's
fall
good.
season. Well, it's really good, right? If
Good
you're-
retention.
Yeah,
there,
but
Cliff.
for argument's sake, if you're let's say a wedding photographer, well, all of your weddings basically dry up,
After
around-
August.
after
Yeah.
August.
Yeah.
So if you can make the training in August and now you only got weddings on Saturday,
Yeah.
well then now I've got you booked until end of October, middle of
Mhm.
November, and if you're really good, some will be going into grads as well, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
photographing grads. So it's a great gig if you're a photographer and you have a summer wedding gig, and all of a sudden you're going to fill that fall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding. Eh?
And young people coming out of school and stuff like that,
Mhm.
they love it. I've hired last year I hired 2 girls. They were 17. They turned 18 after they were in our employ,
Mhm.
and man, they just rocked it out of the park.
Is that right? Eh?
They were like such just rock stars.
Yeah.
And these
Very
kids are
cool.
amazing. They're like you just it gives you such a great feeling to see these kids that they're 17, they're
sure,
turning
yeah.
18, and they're going out there and they're just and some of the kids that they're photographing are just like months younger than they are.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely right.
And it's
yeah,
so good. And
absolutely
it was
right.
so
Yeah.
good. It's so good to see, So
Yeah.
That's great.
So do you? And this is kind of we'll get to you in a second here, Paul, with your week. But so Smart Photography is the company that you're with.
Yeah.
There's your plug. And by the way,
There's your plug. Yeah.
Canadian trucker is Jimmy. By the way.
Oh, it is. Hey, Jimmy.
So do you ever do any shooting in the summer, or that's off?
We
time?
don't do a lot.
Like
No,
like
I don't think
Kids sports or anything like that, or nothing.
no, I think we did like we do sports, right?
Like
But
teams
my
and
last
things?
last like I did Beaumont soccer. Beaumont soccer will be done. Here we did all the work and now we're just about to hand them the pictures
Sure. Yeah.
and we're done. There's not a lot. I think we have one team that we do in July, but that's it. And that's not really a school, that's just a league. or
Yeah,
whatever,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah. So every year, I look for seasonal photographers and I start basically end of May, middle of May, end of May. And then we start interviews in beginning of July.
Mhm.
And then the job starts in the middle of August. So there's
Right.
not a lot.
And is
Right.
it no experience?
No experience.
No,
that's it.
no experience needed.
No. Polly, I wasn't doing the recruiting when I started.
Right.
We had a recruiting company doing it.
Right.
And then they would send us,
That's costs a lot of money. though.
Referrals. and
well, it
whatever,
costs a lot of
yeah.
money, number one, and really that's not even the criteria so much. The criteria is that you have to give them a checklist, right? One year photography experience, check.
Mhm.
Do they have a car and a vehicle?
Sure,
Check.
sure.
But then there's no real personality behind that. It's just the checklist. So then when you get it, then in the interview you find out that this person maybe doesn't have a personality, right?
Right,
Mhm.
right.
But you still have to pay the recruiting company the money, blah blah blah.
Right.
So then I took it over and I did the same thing. I need 1 year of photography experience. I need this. I need
Yeah.
that. But then I talked to the people, and I would now know what this person is like.
Yeah.
And,
and-
you did it without a recruiting company.
and
You're
we-
already
and
an
we did-
employee of the company.
And we did good, and we had good success.
Yeah.
But then I changed it. I flipped the script because the deal was I thought to myself, listen, this is a particular style of photography that we can train, and our
Mhm.
training program is really well.
Mhm.
It's really good. So why do we need that 1 year
Right.
photography experience?
Right.
So my theory was hire person, train skill.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
And-
Absolutely right.
And dude, that really changed the paradigm.
Because
All of a sudden, it got way better
the opposite can be not a good thing. They
and
might
not possible.
have the skill, but and then the person is not trainable.
You can't
they
train
need- do they
manners. You
need their
can't
own
train
equipment?
commitment. You can't train. No, we provide all of it.
Really? Eh?
They can't train equipment. You know, you can't train personality. You can't train enthusiasm. You can't train respect for the people that
Yeah.
you're working with. You
Yeah.
can't train that, all of that.
Mhm.
But I can train. I
You
know
know-
how to train the
You
photographer.
know what's funny
right?
that you say that, Cliff? I've been with my company now over 2 years, and I asked him 6 months ago,
Yeah.
a year ago, I said, why'd you hire me?
I always
Why'd
ask
you
that.
hire me? He said, you know what he told me? He said verbatim, he said, because you wanted it more.
Mhm.
Because you wanted it more.
Yeah.
You know?
You want people that want. You want people that want the
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
right?
Paul was the guy coming through the lineup, knocking everybody out of the
Yeah.
way
Well,
to get to the front.
Well, darn near. I mean, I was, next week,
Yeah.
the week after, I was emailing saying, have you had a chance to review my resume? What did you think of my? Yeah, absolutely. I was that guy, Bill.
Yeah.
I actually was that guy.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
I'm like
Oh,
that. Yeah.
I, and you have to be
Mhm.
now, because for every job out there, there's got to be what,
Listen, man.
25, 30, 50
last
applications.
year I got 417.
Yeah.
Well, I know here at our
Yeah.
at the Briar Patch Cottage that Chai runs, and she's quite often looking for educators. Yeah, when she puts an ad out, yeah, it's
It's
easily
Yeah.
how many applications that come in. It's
It's
just
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
huge list, and
Yeah.
she has to go through and just because a lot of them are not good.
Yeah.
And she asks for specifics when
Yeah.
she puts out her, and they don't follow those directions.
Yeah.
So okay, decline.
Yeah. My only downfall is this sounds like I'm virtue signaling. I'm not. This is the honest truth. My thing is when I see a resume and then they don't answer the questions, and I'm looking at the resume going, this maybe they didn't understand the questions. Maybe they didn't,
Right.
So then I write a little note. Hey, listen, blah blah blah, and it takes me so much time because I'm worried about eliminating somebody who could possibly have had a really good opportunity only because of a mistake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And same thing. I phone people. I got so many. So I don't want to go on about this, but I got so many applications, and I didn't really notice sort of education. They say, U of A, blah 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 blah, and then I talked to them, and after 15 minutes of conversation, obviously I've learned now, but after 15 minutes of conversation, I find out that they're actually enrolled in school in the fall.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you cannot be a school photographer and be
And
in
be
And
school.
be in school.
yeah,
Like, and oh no, but I only go 2 days a week. Okay, but I need you 5 days a week.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
but and then the one guy says to me, really genuinely, right? Just a young chap, he says to me, he said, I'm really sorry to waste your time, Cliff. He says, I just got so excited when I saw the photographer position that he said, I never even really looked at the consequences. He said,
Of course.
right? So poor guy, I
Of
felt
course.
so bad for him. Like, when
Of
you done
course.
school, come talk to me
Come
next
talk.
year.
You know, it's kind of funny. You almost think, and I mean, I have my opinions. When you say you have 400 and whatever,
Yeah.
Applications, you got to wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
You know,
Do what
Paulie, it's both, and I
It's both.
understand. I understand your. I
It's
understand your thought, right? And the fact of the matter is, if you look at my job ad, it tells you distinctly it's a seasonal full time,
Yeah.
and it only runs. It's a very short season. Right?
Yeah.
It's the middle of August to the end of October.
Yeah.
If you're really good, you're one of the rock stars. You'll go to maybe mid-November, end November,
Mhm.
and then you have maybe 2 or 3 that stay for grad. But
Mhm.
we're done,
Mhm.
right? So in terms of that. But then you see a lot of applications, and some of these people are so vastly overqualified that I can't hire them anyway.
right.
Because what happens is they're so overqualified, they've put in jobs for applications for other jobs. So what happens is I go through the process and the training. All of a sudden, August comes along, and somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to offer you the job that you wanted."
Yeah.
How can you fault them? You can't fault them for
Yeah.
leaving. But now I've invested
Now
all of
you're
that time and
done all that work.
resources.
100%.
Right. So as much as I look at these people and I'm going, man, you're so qualified, but you're so overqualified. And I hate to eliminate you for being overqualified,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I have experience with this. And how can you
Yeah.
not accept a job if it's within your field?
Yeah,
100%. That's
so
absolutely
it's
true.
such a
It's a
juggling
catch
game,
22.
right?
is what
And
it
because
is.
I've been on the other side of it, I always feel for these people. And I never like to eliminate anybody arbitrarily.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you took the time to apply, I have
Yeah,
to
but you've got a job to do too.
right?
Cliff.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, they took the time to apply, and in my mind, I can spend the extra few minutes to make sure that they're not being eliminated
Yeah.
arbitrarily.
Mhm.
Right.
But at the same time, man, it adds a lot it adds a lot when you get so many applications, right?
Oh yeah.
That's the unfortunate circumstance. But
Well, and
anyway, sorry guys.
no, no worries.
That's
And
very interesting.
what
Very
about you, there, Mr. Paul? How was the week?
It's good. So hey, a couple of things. We have a studio audience here today. My daughter's actually in the studio.
Hiding.
Today we got, she's hiding. She's doing her thing, but she's here.
Yeah.
I don't think she's ever seen, and I like teaching them this
Oh, of
and
course.
showing them this,
Yeah,
teaching
yeah.
them this. Because I mean, they can get skills and they can get jobs setting up a tripod and, and this, that, and the other thing. So my daughter's with us in the studio. So we just have stuff to do in the neighborhood later.
In the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood later. Hey, guess who I saw in concert this weekend or this week?
And your shirt?
Guess
might
who?
Might tell us who you saw.
So funny. What a show, you guys. They're 78 years old, these guys. 78 years old. And what a show.
Not slowed down, eh?
So yes, because Randy Bachman sat the whole time.
Oh,
So yes, absolutely.
But I mean musically not slowed down.
Cliff and they pointed it out. They said, you guys, if you guys want a real rock and roll show with no they have monitors, but with no synth and no, this is and absolutely right. And they pointed out, we're actually playing these suckers up here, and these are actually, and it was so good. It was so good.
That's what I missed, unfortunately. But
Oh,
look at Burton Cummings, eh? Oh my God,
he's lost. Burton Cummings, funny guy, by the way.
Oh yeah, he's
funny,
really
funny
I've seen
guy.
him twice. Yeah,
Lovely personality on Burton. He's very humble.
Yeah,
you could tell
he is.
Now, Don Felder before him, you could tell he was very. He had a lot more confidence, a lot more swagger,
right
to him. Don Felder, wonderful. Don Felder, by the way, was wonderful. I could have listened to him for 2 hours alone. Burton Cummings, just very humble. Just thank you very much.
Cummings is a wonderful guy.
Oh, wonderful. Him and Randy said thank you to us half a dozen times. Half a dozen times.
And what a talent, eh? Burton Cummings has probably one of the most recognizable rock voices in history.
With Geddy Lee from Rush and
Elton John.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he's
such
lost
a
little bit of it.
Well, come on.
Lost a little,
yeah.
But he's also 78 years old.
Yeah. But I mean, him in his younger days, I mean, he doesn't just stand tall with that album.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And that's the album that I grew up with.
Oh yeah, but me
that's
too.
the album that made me want to see this show.
That's
I mean,
right.
he didn't play Stand Tall. He didn't make any solo acts, solo tracks from him. But they played BTO. They played BTO, which was great. What a show! What a show! If Laura's on, thank you very much, Laura. It was a great experience. It was a great show. So thank you very much for accompanying me to that show. It was fantastic. I was thrilled to go.
Nice.
Other than that, nothing.
Yeah, I've seen Burton Cummings twice now.
Oh.
One time we saw him at what's it called, Goonies? No, I think it turned into the Union.
Goose Looney.
Goose Looney.
Goose Looney. I think it was there. But I think maybe it was there. We saw him. But anyway, he came solo. Him and his keyboard.
Yep.
Oh my God. He went to the tables and he said hi. And we talked to him and we shook his hand and we sang with him.
Just a humble
He's
man.
just a genuinely good guy.
And Cliffy, he can still tinkle those keys.
Oh yeah, he still plays those suckers.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think he lives in Moose Jaw now, just so you know.
Oh, does he?
That's my
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, they're originally they're a Winnipeg band.
Well, I know. Yeah, no, but I think he retired in Moose Jaw.
Is that right?
Well, obviously he's not retired, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Good week.
Good.
Hey, it's always a good week when you have live music.
Yeah.
Oh, it is, right?
Always a good week.
What about you, Bill?
Just busy week doing some stuff and getting ready because I'm
Busy
off
week
to a big
coming up.
technology conference in Las Vegas. So I'll be off there next week. But busy week. Hey, so the Music Society of Strathcona County won a big award this week. So
sweet.
That was cool.
we had the Awards of Excellence on Thursday night, Strathcona County Awards of Excellence, and they awarded us the Award of Excellence for Outstanding Community group.
Nice.
So that went really well. So our producer James was there, and Haley and Nick from the board, and Brent Clifford. Brent was there. They all came up on stage when I did the speech and got the award, and it was a good evening. And James enjoyed the cake afterward, and it was good.
Nice.
The chocolate cake that he enjoyed. He said he only had one piece apparently, but I only had one piece of cake as well, but Nick on our board at least had 2 or 3.
He had the one for me. There you
Yeah,
go.
but and it was good. But one thing that I watched this week when I had an opportunity is because Rush has started their tour.
Wow.
So they did
Yeah.
4 shows at the LA Forum.
Yeah.
So I was able to find somebody who's they've shot every show, the whole show.
Oh, nice.
So I was able to watch the
catch
4
it.
different shows.
Right.
But the biggest thing for me, of course, was seeing how Annika Niles
The
does.
drumming.
So
And
so Neil Peart you can't replace Neil Peart, but I gotta say, Annika's probably I would say probably the number 2 best drummer in the world.
what?
She
Really?
was absolutely
She's amazing.
She
She's
had,
Really?
She's
and
amazing.
when they play Tom Sawyer, and there's some fills in
And
there,
that was the one that
and
she
you
was
should have
afraid
heard
of.
you should have heard the crowd cheer
Yep.
when she hit those fills. The
Yeah.
crowd just went wild
Well,
for her,
wild.
Really?
Yeah.
and she never missed a beat. Like
Wow.
she,
And the thing is that
Good
she
for her.
said Sawyer was her most feared song
Mhm.
because there's not an air drummer out there that
Yeah.
doesn't know those fills,
yeah.
right? Including me, right?
Yeah.
You could do that in your
Oh.
sleep. All us air
Sleep.
drummers
You
could
can
do
it
that in your sleep, right?
Yeah.
And she thought if she wrecks that, she'll never be known, as a Rush member, right?
Yeah.
And then I guess the very opening at the Junos was it did
They
she
played
play
at the Junos.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, when she played it, the crowd went nuts.
Yeah.
And she just nailed it. Like,
She nailed
just
every-
so
Good for
good.
her.
Every song. And
Fantastic. She's fantastic. She's fantastic.
they learned 40 some songs for
Yes.
this tour.
For
Yep.
this song.
And including like some, as Geddy Lee and Alex said, they had to relearn. They haven't
Relearn.
played them so some of the songs they're playing this tour, they haven't played
In
since the
decades,
70s.
yeah.
That they're playing.
Yeah.
But the whole look of the show looks really good.
When's the Edmonton
visually.
date?
September, I think it is.
It's jammed.
I think there's 2 shows.
Yeah,
it's
like
2
they
shows.
did
It's
the
jammed.
4 back to
Yeah.
back in LA,
Yeah.
but they sound really good. And so they also have a keyboard player on stage now,
Yeah, no,
which they
I
never had
noticed that,
before.
yeah.
So he fills in some of the keyboard stuff that Geddy used to play. But otherwise,
That's nice though. Frees up Geddy to roam the stage a little bit, which he
a
never
little bit
really
like he still
had
has
time
his
to do.
he still has his small keyboard up there, but he doesn't have to play as many of. He used to play keyboard bass parts with the bass foot pedals and stuff.
Foot pedals.
So he doesn't seem to be doing that. But otherwise, they sound really good. Alex sounds really good on the guitar, and Geddy's vocals.
Alex
are pretty
hasn't
good.
lost a step at all, man.
No, they're both 72 years old, I think.
Yeah.
And but yeah, and Annika, like I said,
And then
every-
Annika comes in. Yeah,
yeah, and they play. So the first night they played 2112, but it was only a portion of it.
Right.
The second night they played the whole thing of 2112, and they're changing their set list every night, adding in songs and taking out songs.
I love
It's
it.
just for the difference.
That's
I
their
love it.
talent.
But she is on. Like they play over 2.5 hours. They do take a short break, and as Geddy before they go on the break, he was just like, I got to go to the bathroom. So that's their break time because they're old.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of tributes to Neil Peart as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So they have
Good.
video
Good.
tributes they put
Video
up
tributes,
of
yeah.
him.
Good.
And right from when he's young to him being
I thought it was so
interviewed.
nice, Bill.
Yeah.
To honor him, him that way, because right above Annika the drummer, right above is and they just showing Neil Peart through all of it, and I think that's so nice.
So-
I think it's so great for her.
That's what the Depeche Mode did too for
Yeah.
Andy Fletcher. And
Yeah, isn't
Black
that
Show.
nice? I think
Yeah,
that's so
It
nice.
has to be done.
Yeah,
I think
they-
it has to be done.
Yeah, they stop. So in between some songs, they'll have a tribute for Neil. And then they go back to showing their normal stuff. They got a lot of their cartoonish stuff as well, a lot of funny stuff. The whole intro, like they have this huge intro before the show even starts on
Yeah.
this really cool
do we
screen
know
they've
what
designed.
Neil Peart's favorite Rush song was? And the reason why I ask that is because Depeche Mode, the last Depeche Mode show, a couple of years before that, they lost a member, a founding member. And during his favorite song, it was known that his favorite song was World in My Eyes. So that when they played World in My Eyes, that's when they had the video montage. Do we know?
I don't know,
was there
actually,
any
if he ever-
mention of
if
Neil
that was-
Peart's favorite Rush song or anything?
Ever mentioned. Good
Yeah.
morning, Amy, by the way. She says,
Yeah.
good morning,
Very.
pretty Podlie.
I'd be curious.
Oh,
to
good
know
morning,
that.
Amy.
Morning,
Yeah,
Amy.
so I mean, like he was never like Neil was very much an introvert. So he
Very
didn't
much. In.
he didn't do the meet and greets. He didn't do any of that. It was always Alex and Geddy that were out front. And
Yeah. Do you, an interesting story, Paul? I don't know if you know this. Maybe you don't either, Bill. An interesting story about Neil Peart was he rode a motorcycle.
yes, he did. He loved motorcycle. He would take it on tour and go between cities because he didn't go with the band.
Correct. He didn't go with the band. He did the
Yeah.
motorcycle, and he had one bodyguard with him,
Yeah.
riding shotgun
did.
with him, or riding motorcycle with him.
Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing I love about Neil Peart is when he had a day off in between the tour, because of course the band has nothing to do in between the tours, right? They're fully rehearsed.
Right.
They obviously have roadies
Right.
do
They got a
everything.
sound check and that's
Everything's done.
And
yeah.
they don't even have a sound check, Paulie,
Wow.
because everything is done and set, and that's
Wow.
what it is. The first day they do it, done, set, it's done.
I
Right?
don't think I've ever heard of that.
So anyway, but Neil Peart, what he'll do on the day off in between, his favorite question to himself is, "What is the most excellent thing I can do with my time today?"
Hmm.
That was
love
his
it.
question, and most of the time it involved getting on the motorcycle and going someplace that he wanted to see.
Mhm.
That was not the tourist.
He had it on tour with him all the time.
And he always had his motorcycle on tour with him. He always
Mm-hmm.
had one bodyguard that rode with him, but rode behind.
So
because
who
he
rode the
wanted-
sidecar and who
because-
rode the motorbike?
No, he rode behind.
He was always
ro-
by himself and
Always
his
by
bodyguard.
himself, but
Yeah.
the bodyguard rode behind
Yeah,
to make sure, but never interrupted his solitude.
Yeah.
Right? That's the idea. So it's a very interesting guy. And I mean, he wrote all the lyrics for Rush. I think
He
you
was a
guys
full-
know
We
that.
know that.
the
Yeah.
He
full
wrote
lyricist.
all the
Yeah,
lyrics
yeah,
for,
we
for
know.
Rush, right?
So there's some really good so there was a recent interview just done with Geddy Lee and Alex and Annika actually by his last name is Beto. I subscribe to him.
Rick
Beato,
Beato,
Rick
Beato.
Beato.
So he had each
Rick-
of them on.
We love Rick
And
Beato.
so they're talking to Geddy Lee about that too. And yeah, he talked about, like they said, so like, did you ever have discussions, or were there ever times when you didn't agree with things with Neil and stuff? And,
Yeah.
and they said, oh yeah, there was times that they would, because Neil always wrote the lyrics, and they would come in and say, okay, well, here's what Geddy and Alex,
Musically,
here's
yeah.
musically what I kind of think might fit, and they would agree to get to disagree, I guess. But in the latter, like early in their career, they're always together. In the latter part of their career, they never together in the recording studio. So they recorded all over the place. So Neil would email them the lyrics and say, here's the lyrics I'm working on. And Geddy would be in his home place, say, okay, I'm coming with the bass line. And Alex would be off in his studio.
Doing his stuff,
And
yeah.
okay, here's what I'm coming up with. And they put it all together.
Put it all
And they would
together.
get together later in the part when they were going to do like the full recording.
Yeah.
But
no,
yeah,
that's the one.
It's the show itself, the new show, like I said, visually is really cool to see. I don't believe there's an opening act. Like I said, they play for well over two and a half
It's
hours.
crazy. It's
And then
Good for them.
they take their intermission.
for
But a lot of humor. Like I said, the opening video that they show on this really cool screen that they've designed, which is on the front of, comes down on the front of the stage and it's lifted up. I would love to go and see the backstage
Where did
technology
you
for
see,
this
did you
show.
see this on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to watch.
Yeah, so there's 4 shows. They did back-to-back shows at the LA Forum. Well, I don't know if they might have been a day in between, but there's 4 shows at the LA Forum. That's
Yeah.
how they started their tour. And they sound, like I said, they sound great. And Annika, you should see, she had about a 20-minute interview that I watched with her, with Beato. And of course, she's from Germany. And her dad was a drummer, but not a trained drummer. He learned on his own. And so she kind of got into drums, even though she said she was kind of wanting to learn guitars, and then she really liked piano. So that's kind of where she started. But her dad was a drummer, and so he kind of started teaching her that. But he wanted her to actually go take lessons because he never had lessons.
Never had lessons.
So she went and took lessons, and she started by playing with orchestras. That
Right.
was her thing. Then she started getting
good for her.
into playing rock, and then of course she toured with Jeff Beck. Was Jeff
Okay,
Beck's
and that was
drummer.
going to be my next question. How do we know Annika? Is she a session musician? She's not from another band.
Well, she toured with Jeff Beck
Jeff Beck, yeah.
for quite a while, but she did a lot of her own stuff as well, and she was probably doing some session recording and things like
Right,
that.
but we don't know her
And
from
then-
another band,
Not
do we?
not other than Jeff
Because
Beck.
I've never
not
heard the name
really.
before she joined Rush.
Yeah, so she said that it was Geddy's guitar tech that knew her, and he went to Geddy and said, "Hey, you should listen to this girl I know play drums."
Mhm.
And so that's kind of how it started. So Geddy listened. Then they did the Foo Fighters tribute for Taylor Hawkins, and Rush, Alex, and Geddy played on that. And she was playing drums for their song at that Foo Fighters
Oh.
tribute. So that was the first time they'd ever been together on stage. And then that really got Geddy and Alex going, oh, maybe we could tour
Maybe we
again.
could.
They started to get the bug.
Okay, I'm
But
glad you
prior to
mentioned
that,
that, Bill, because
yeah.
I wanted to know how this worked out.
Because prior to that, they didn't have the bug to go back and
Right.
tour without
They didn't.
Neil.
Yeah,
I
they
knew
didn't
that.
have
Yeah, that I
And,
knew. Yeah.
But then when they heard her play,
Yeah.
and said, hey, maybe this will work. So then they did some jamming sessions, I guess, after, and they gave her, apparently they sent her like 6 to 8 songs, and they said, learn these and let's get together and just see how you feel. So she learned the 6 to 8 songs, and she said, asked, so how did you learn them? She goes, well, I kind of listened to them. I made my own little charts, wrote down, I just kind of played along, and she said, then I got them nailed down, and then we went and jammed, and Geddy and Alex said, that's it. They heard of the play. They said it was like goosebumps.
Wow.
where
Well,
she's the
Do you have
she's
tickets
the
to
one.
one of the two shows?
I do not actually.
Are you getting tickets?
I'm
to
kind of
one?
waiting actually, because if you wait, usually the week before the show, there's always the ones that come up with all
I
of a sudden
know.
people can't go.
I know, and that's why.
So
I'm waiting.
I'm keeping
probably
an
gonna-
eye out
Keep an
just
eye
to
out.
see if all of a sudden something pops up. But after seeing the LA one, yeah, they sound amazing. I just wasn't sure what they would.
Yeah. No, I was so impressed because
Yeah.
I watched Subdivisions.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Rush songs. I have so many, but one of my favorite Rush songs is Subdivision.
Yeah.
And I love the drumming on there. It's really cool.
Mm.
And then Tom Sawyer, she just killed it.
Well, she went to
She
the. She talked about too. She said I had to go to the gym before the show because she's like doing a marathon.
Well, how old is she? She's not,
she's young.
yeah, she's not in her
younger.
40s yet. I don't think.
She's probably in her late 30s, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know her age, but anyway, she is playing hard the whole plus 2.5 hour plus.
Yeah.
Because every Rush
Yeah.
song, there's no Rush ballad that's really slow. Other than Trees is a little bit slower. So there are some times where she
Yeah.
slows
What a
down a
great
bit.
song, Trees.
But she's going nonstop. So the very first show she had on like a kind of a tank top
Yeah.
thing. You should see the muscles
Oh,
in
yeah.
this lady's arms.
Oh yeah.
There she is, right?
Yeah.
83.
Yeah,
She's not 83.
She's 43 years old.
No, 1983.
Just a second. I got my magnifying glass.
1983.
She's 43 years old. Well, she doesn't look 43. Holy
She doesn't look
smokes.
43. That's why I said I don't think she's 40 yet. Well done.
But anyway, yeah, she's amazing. So
Watch the World Cup opening
that
ceremony.
started. I had it on the TV. in
Did
the
you see
background.
Alanis Morissette?
No, I did not.
I didn't recognize her. She did the national anthem.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize her. Well, I didn't recognize her at first. It took me a couple of minutes. I'm like, I think that's Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, she was doing that was in Toronto, right?
You know, that was in Toronto.
Yeah.
In Toronto. And that's Alanis Morissette. Still looks good.
Yeah.
Still a lovely looking lady. But I just didn't recognize her. You know? Yeah, Alanis Morissette. Michael Bublé, you recognized immediately. Connor McDavid was there.
He was there. I saw a
stands.
video of him. Yeah.
But I didn't recognize Alanis at first. I thought she did a great job.
Mhm.
I thought she did a great job. Yeah.
It's funny actually. As you speak of now the World Cup, I saw a thing last night. It was a highlight, and I can't remember which teams it was, but no, it wasn't a highlight actually. I flipped over and it was on.
Mhm.
So, but they were having this big controversy because they had a replay. So this guy's running by one guy, and he's going to tackle and get the ball.
Mhm.
So he got the ball,
Mhm.
but the other guy, and get this, didn't touch him. But the other guy, like a second after, all of a sudden hits the ground like he got shot, and he was not touched. So they kept going back to the replay. They never got.
Nobody touched it.
Even the announcers are going, he never got touched at all. Like it was a second later after the ball was already gone.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, then he flies through the air, and the other guy's like this. Like, what did I do? I didn't.
That's
The
soccer,
foot didn't even
friends.
connect with him. And so then the referee gave that guy, and he had a red card in his hand first because he went and watched it.
Yeah.
And then he put the red card and changed it to a yellow because I thought they were going to kick him out.
Yeah.
Because in hockey, that's embellishment, right? So
That's
you get a penalty.
embellishment.
And he embellished that. Like how he thought he would get away with it. Like all of a sudden he falls over.
So I will tell you, because I do watch my fair share of soccer, it's a lot better than it was even 5 years ago.
You know,
It's a lot.
I
better.
remember what I don't know which World Cup, probably 2-3 World Cups ago. I watched it. I was sick to my stomach.
Yep.
Like, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
you know, like I don't know. I could, man. I don't want to say the words I want to say, but like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, what makes you think this is acceptable for a human being, let alone a man, let alone a sports person, let
Mhm.
alone an athlete? How could you do this to yourself?
Mm.
How could you
In good
disrespect?
conscience.
How could you disrespect yourself so pathetically?
Act like you've been shot.
Like I can't, yeah, but the dive though, it's like
The
1
dive.
minute after, it's
Yeah.
like dive. Okay,
Yeah.
if you're gonna do that, the least you could do is take some rhythm lessons, and
Yeah.
maybe you'll get it on time.
Because then I
100%.
think about
Count yourself in, buddy.
100%.
what's his name? Is it on Vegas? Las Vegas Knights, and then the Stanley Cup final. McNabb, I think it is, who's got like 33 stitches in his nose because he during the series he took that slap shot. He was in
Yeah.
front of the net, 86-mile-an-hour slap shot, him square in the face, and he went off right
Yeah.
away. And they took him to the hospital that night. He's back in the next game wearing a cage, but he's got these stitches all
Yeah.
across his
Yeah.
face, 33 stitches through his nose.
Yeah, and then you
and
got
he's back playing the
and then
next
you
day.
got some athlete diving 5 seconds after the, it's so dumb. To me, it's just you're disrespecting yourself and you're disrespecting your sport and you're disrespecting athleticism and you're disrespecting everything. Not to mention the audience.
Yeah.
Right.
You
It drives
will
me
get no
insane.
argument from me,
My
sir.
God, drives me mad.
Like I can see, like on occasion, like if you're soccer, you do get a cleat in the back of the leg or
It's
something
gonna
like that. That's pretty legitimate.
Sure.
But some of
And
this
it
other stuff,
happens, and it
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
yeah.
But
My son was a competitive rep soccer player.
Yeah.
And it does get aggressive for sure.
Yeah.
But there's all those other times when they bring out the spray can and the little the cloth stretcher or whatever it is.
yeah,
My
yeah,
God, it's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
yeah. Funny.
So hey,
Yeah.
look at the clock.
Funny.
You missed.
Oh, look at that. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the middle of the podcast.
And we just finished our intro.
And we just finished the intro.
that was the longest
What up
intro.
with that?
That's the longest intro that we have ever done.
Which Guess Who song is Come Undone? So Laura's talking about a song called Come Undone. Do I know that
It's not
song?
Come Undone. It's
That's a Duran Duran
it's-
song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not Come
I'm
Undone.
not sure.
It's I think it is called Come Undo. I think, and Laura, I think
What is
Our
it?
producer's looking it up here.
Or Undone. There you go. That's what it is. Undone. Yeah,
I
that's
know
what it
the
is. It's
song.
Undone.
I know the song.
Yeah.
Thanks, Laura. I
Yeah,
get
it's
it
not
now.
Come Undone because Come Undone is Duran Duran.
What was the crowd like at that show? Like, was it a full or?
They were like mostly
Well, I was the
people.
youngest person there.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to say that. It was full. They had the upper bowl closed off.
So they only sold the lower bowl.
Only sold the lower bowl, but packed full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did see a couple. I did, a couple of small sections that were empty. But there's no way that I could have moved down
Yeah.
Mhm.
to get better seats because it was all full.
Mhm.
It was great.
How was the mosh pit?
Funny because I made note of this. So the first 5 or 6 rows were standing up. Everybody else sitting down the whole show.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
whole show. But yeah,
No-
and again, it was great. I mean, I sat
be
down
kinda
the
funny
whole
if there
show,
was a
enjoyed
mosh pit.
myself.
All those
So-
70-year-olds and banging into each other.
But it was great. I
Yeah.
loved it. You know what?
Crowd
What's
surfing.
very interesting because I thought about this when I'm, before the show. I thought about this. My folks are both 78 years old, and people of the same ilk were there, and I just love it that people enjoy what's out there and enjoy life and enjoy, their city's amenities and enjoy and embrace their youth again. I just loved it. I loved seeing it.
And
I thought it was great.
the show didn't start, and all of a sudden you got that waft of, what's that smell like you used to in the old days?
No, didn't smell that.
The arena would light up,
No, didn't smell that this time.
and it wasn't with lights.
No, didn't smell that this time. That was another thing. Funny you should say lights. What many things impressed me about this show. Not the least of which was their lighting. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. It was almost like a Broadway production. Beautiful reds and yellows and
Nice.
lit stage. That was one thing that I don't normally notice
Mhm.
about a musical performance. I really noticed it with this one. It was beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah, really, the lighting was beautiful. Loved it.
Nice.
Well, I think they've done well. I think as of now we've been talking about all these bands that are coming back. Of course, Triumph, I think, just wrapped the first, I guess you want to call it first leg of their tour. I think
Yeah.
they're taking
They were just here.
a break now.
They're
They
just
were. And they did the same thing. I think they only sold the lower bowl as well. They didn't sell the upper bowl of the arenas. But I watched some footage of it. I can't say that I was completely impressed, not like Rush.
Yeah.
Because with Triumph, you got Rick Emmett and Gil Moore, but their bass player did not make the tour at all. They thought he might because he's got some health issues, which affects his playing, I guess. But they had these 2 other guys that were filling in. One of them from the cover band Took, and it was okay. Some of the stuff that I watched, but it just didn't feel like Triumph.
Didn't feel like
And they had a double drum. They had 2 drummers.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure why they did that. Why they didn't just have Gil playing drums. Why they had 2 full kits on stage. But
Leslie
anyway,
and I talked about going because we're a big Rick Emmett fan. Like Rick, I don't know if you guys know Rick Emmett's solo stuff.
Yeah.
He's got
Little bit.
He's
Yeah.
fantastic.
He's an amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
Amazing guitarist.
He's amazing.
we interviewed
vocalist.
him on our show.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an amazing vocalist. He's an amazing lyricist. He's an amazing guitarist. And he's a very deep thinker. He's a really deep thinker. Like if you listen to his lyrics on some of his albums, his solo albums, he's got one of my favorite albums is called The Spiral Notebook. It's fantastic. It's like genuinely a fantastic
It's a solo
thing.
album?
Solo album,
Solo?
yeah. It's called The Spiral Notebook. And He's got Ipso Facto. That's his first solo album called Ipso Facto. It's fabulous. It's just fabulous. His music is amazing. I'm not the biggest Triumph fan in the world. Love Rick Emmett. And Leslie and I talked about it. And she's seen Rick Emmett 3 or 4 times. I've never seen him, unfortunately. And she says, no, I'd rather wait until and go to a solo performance of him, because he's come with 2 guitarists, the 3 amigos and stuff like that. And Leslie's gone and seen him at the Windspear, and he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So she's like, you know what? I'll know 2 Triumph songs, and that would be it.
And I've
You know?
talked about this many times on here, going to the US Festival and seeing Triumph play live there, and seeing that historic time when he sat down on the stage in front of 300,000 plus people and starts playing classical on his electric guitar at a rock show.
What year was
crazy.
that? Yes,
83.
83.
But he, and I hadn't really thought that I would want to go see them. Have you watched the documentary on Triumph on Netflix?
I have not. No.
So I've watched that a couple times. Good documentary, and he talks about leaving the band.
I'll have to watch that.
And he decided to leave, and they did bring in a different guitar player and tried to continue without him, and it wasn't quite the same.
you can't,
But
you can't just replace Rick Emmett.
yeah, and even the guitar player they brought in, I can't remember his name now. You probably recognize him, but anyway, I remember him saying, he said it was tough for him, because he said he would go out on stage, and of course people are saying, well, we want Rick Emmett.
Yeah.
So, and you're out there playing,
And he's not a slouch. He could play all the music.
yeah,
Like no doubt about it.
Still
But-
genius. He's,
But the thing is, he just was not Rick Emmett. He didn't have the same.
Yeah. So they
draw.
burned bridges for sure. It took them a while to all get along again, and
Every
Rick
band
felt-
has the same story.
Rick felt
man.
really bad.
well,
that he
Don
kinda did
Felder
it.
with the Eagles, like
Yeah.
he alluded to it a little bit with Glenn Fry
Mhm.
and
Every band. I don't think
every
there's a single band that says, "Oh yeah, we got along famously for all the time." It
Yeah,
doesn't happen.
Mhm.
No.
It doesn't happen, right? I mean, if you look back to Rush for a quick second, you look at the 3 of them. I mean, when you think there's only 3 of you, and you think you can't get along, but then you look at Simon and Garfunkel. Well, there's only 2 of
There's
you.
2 of you.
You can't get along, right? So
Mhm.
it's human nature, I think, and the nature of artists in general.
It's a marriage,
Right.
Cliff.
It is
It's
a marriage. It
Mhm.
is a marriage, right?
Well, especially when you're on the road together for,
Yeah.
especially early in their careers, they're on the road, 200, whatever, every
Days a
night
year,
they're on the road, and then they take a few days off, and then they're back out touring again.
yeah,
So-
and then you're clashing creativity,
Yeah.
creatively you're crashing and clashing, and I don't know. I mean, and you look at Neil Peart, his lyrics. I don't know, man. Here's this drummer philosopher,
Mm-hmm.
dude, and I don't know the personalities of Geddy Lee and Alex as much, but Neil Peart, he was my favorite sort of member of the group, but philosopher, drummer, and when he brings these lyrics to bear,
Mm-hmm.
my question would be, do the other people exactly understand what I'm trying to say?
What he's trying to say.
And I'm
Right.
sure there was times he probably had to explain
I have
it,
to explain it,
because
but he
Geddy
is
had to sing it.
any genius level,
Yeah.
and this is not any kind of a slight against Geddy Lee or Alex
Yeah.
Dyson. I mean, these are obviously highly intelligent people,
Yeah.
But it's a different intelligence, right? We
Well,
all
and
have
Ged-
different intelligences, right?
Geddy had to learn those lyrics, and he had to sing them,
And sing
And-
with passion and fire and all
And
the
feel
wonderful
them.
things.
and
And
play
feel them,
bass
yeah.
guitar and sing those lyrics.
It's crazy, man. Geddy
So-
Lee's like, what a talent, my God.
And as I always say, being a bass player and singing is one of the hardest things.
One of the hardest things you do,
And-
second only to drumming.
And considering that those lyrics that he has
Yeah.
to learn and memorize, and I do know, as every band does it now, they have teleprompters on stage. You can
Yeah.
see it on camera angles. Geddy's got teleprompter down here. There's
Yeah.
one by Alex.
Yeah.
So they all use them now. But
Yeah.
he's got it just in case. But
Well, they got 19 million
Sarah
songs
McLachlan.
that they got to listen
Sarah
to.
McLaughlin had teleprompters.
everybody
So
uses them.
everybody
Now.
has
All the
them.
big bands use
All of them have.
Yeah,
them.
and all the open stage dudes use iPads.
them. Some of them use iPads. Yeah. But yeah, it is funny though. The way that all comes together now, right? And and like you said, even with the thing with Neil, I don't know if you may have known this or not. Like we already talked about the fact that he's a real introvert, and at the end of every show, he never came out to do a bow.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
He'd
do that.
leave, and the other two would do the bow.
Mm.
The only time he ever did it was their very final show ever together,
Mm.
and he can't. And then Alex and Geddy didn't know he was going to do it.
Yeah.
They're up doing
Mm.
getting ready to do their regular bow at the end of the night, and who comes running out from behind the drum kit and grabs them? And he did
I
a
think
final.
that's great.
He did a final bow with
That's
them,
great.
which was
You gotta
kind of
be who you are.
Yeah. Which was kind of fitting as well, because that was the last time he ever played.
Last
And
time
then,
he played,
he was
yeah.
diagnosed with the brain tumor not long after that.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he was done. Yeah. So
Mhm.
How
that
old
was
was he?
in his 60s, I think. We could probably look that
Yeah, if
up.
you could
But
look that up, dude.
yeah. Um,
Neil Peart. Mr. Peart.
so he died January 7th, 2020,
52. Oh,
and he was
he's
born in
quite young.
1952. So he's still quite young, 67 years old.
Wow, quite young.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So I'm always curious if he were still alive, if they would have continued to tour with him.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
You know,
now.
they
Always, the thing is, I think these bands always work out, because the music sooner or later becomes more important than the relationship, right?
Mhm.
The need and the desire to
Mhm.
play and desire to perform.
Well,
Well, I
yeah.
think that's why Rush is touring. The
And-
need to play, the
Yeah.
need to be. That's who you are.
and
That's
Getty
who
and,
you are.
Getty and Alex have always been really good friends,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they've continued to be good friends. And they were, even when after Neil had passed away, they were still getting together and
Oh, yeah.
jamming and
Jamming and
coming
stuff.
up with other music that wasn't Rush music.
Yeah.
But they always said they would still always kind of sneak in a little Rush tune together, just because
Yeah.
that's what they've always done, right?
Yeah.
And they had the itch.
Yeah.
But
And Peart was definitely on the outside of the trio.
Yeah.
Right? He was on the outside of the group,
It's
as
interesting.
most philosophers are.
yeah,
I just love the whole the whole philosophy of relationships in relation to bands and theater troops.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did theater a lot as a kid, not anymore. I would never do theater anymore. I don't have the time or the patience. But as a kid, 15, 16, 17, and it was just funny to me at that age where you'd fly off stage, you'd strip off down to your ginch, and half the company's like right there.
Oh, it
And
wouldn't matter.
you don't even
Doesn't
it,
matter.
it just does. I mean, the relationship
hmm
but between performers and it amazes me. I just and I love it. I love seeing the relationship.
What I don't understand is that how come we haven't learned from the masters, right? So if you look at all these super groups that are come and gone, you think the newer band members, like if I formed a band today, right? One of my first things would be is obviously the musical collaboration, but one of my first things would be is, let's not try and make the same relationship type mistakes that other bands have made,
Mhm.
right? So if you look at, and because they all regret it, there's not any band that fought and went their own ways, et cetera, that didn't regret it, to my knowledge. Most people regret it.
Mhm.
So I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this song, but Crosby, Stills, Nash, they were an amazing group, super
Mhm.
group. Obviously,
Sure
they all
were.
come from super groups.
Yeah.
They have a
Woodstock.
song. They have a song called "Wasted on the Way." If you have not heard that song, James, could you be kind enough to put up the lyrics for that song called "Wasted on the Way"? But it's a really remarkable song because it's about them and how much time they wasted
Mhm.
being
Not
jackasses,
not
to
getting
each
along.
other,
Oh,
not
oh,
getting
yeah.
along.
And
when-
they still hate each other.
when they could have become or stayed or whatever the case may be, right? The
Mhm.
song's called "Wasted on the Way." If you get a chance, listen to it. It's a great song, and I think it pertains to everything. Don't waste the time on the petty
Mhm.
shit, right?
It was funny when I was writing for a local.
Paulie, can I disrupt you for
Yep,
one second?
of course.
I just love that lyric. It says, "Look around me now. I can see my life before me, running rings around the way it used to be. I'm older now. I have more than what I wanted, but I wish that I had started long before I did."
Mhm.
Well, you try and teach three teenage kids to get off their damn phones and
Right.
go play baseball or
Mhm.
go
Right.
and practice soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, it's.
It is, but that always has struck me, and it's wasted on the way. Like there's so much that we could be doing if we just put certain petty things behind.
Well, for a
right?
little bit more
They
discipline,
get
I
it.
think.
Who knows? They could have come out with another hit album.
God knows what.
You know, who knows
Like,
what they could
Yeah.
have done musically if they hadn't been fighting.
If
Right?
hadn't
It was funny. I was writing for a digital, local digital magazine about 5 years ago. Jesse Toms, we love you. I miss Edmonton Muse, but I was working on and interviewing, and it was going to be a 10-part series. It was called "How to Build a Band." It's called in this 10-part series. It's called was called how to build a band. And I went to their rehearsals. It was in their apartment.
Yeah.
One person's apartment, and they would get together. And I just sat back. I knew all of them, Mike Daragowski.
Mhm.
And I knew all of them, or I knew most of them. And what's really funny about that, Cliff, is it was going to be a 10-part series. It only made it to 6.
It only made it to 6.
It only made it
Why?
to 6 because they couldn't get along. They couldn't figure it out. They couldn't agree on anything. They couldn't. One would rehearse like a fiend. The other one would fly by the seat of his pants, come in, not rehearse nothing. So, and then they dissolved. They dissolved. You know, I mean, the relationship between 2 people, Slimy and Garfield, 3 people, Rush, 6 people, Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is
amazing to me.
The thing is, Paulie, and I don't diminish, the sort of the formation part of it, diminish the difficulties that it is to form a band. Because keep in mind, there are so many moving parts. It's not just the music, right? It's the music, it's the personalities, it's the time, it's the responsibilities of each individual that are different. It is what you feel on the inside. I mean, there are some bands that have been brilliant, like who were just on the cusp, and then something, that it all comes to boil, right? I mean, look at Kurt Cobain, look at Nirvana, look at all these groups. So when a band does come together and make brilliant music, if it goes on for decades, it's even more amazing. But I think that's the unique part of it. Most bands can't last that long, right? So I think it's amazing to me. All the stars in the moon has to align in order for a group to come together and make music.
Which is, and I think also why you'll see a lot of these bands now, whether it be Rush or whomever, a lot of the big bands that are still kind of going and playing. Back in the day, of course, when they were younger, they all would travel together, and they all have their stories about having to travel in vans together and all that kind of stuff. So they're always together. There was no, they would share hotel rooms because that's what their budget would allow as they're first breaking into the industry, right? But as they all become huge, and as you alluded to, they all have their huge crews now. They just show up and play. Everything is set and ready for them, but they don't travel together.
Right.
So if you'll notice, they all come in their own vehicle. They leave the shows usually,
and I think
in
that
their own
separation
vehicle,
is what makes it.
and that's what now kind of keeps.
Wish we knew that when the Beatles were still together. You know what I mean? But that's exactly right. They were together all the time. All the time were they together, and they dissolved. The Beatles.
Yeah. So a lot of them will do that now. They travel.
You're a big Beatles fan, Paul.
Oh man, I who does not like the Beatles? Come on, you don't like the Beatles?
I'm not the biggest fan.
Really?
No.
Eh? Is that right? Eh?
I like some of them. I have a lot of.
I like some of their stuff.
Quite a few of their albums, but I'm not like a huge fan.
In fairness, the music is such bubblegum stuff.
Oh,
He said, yeah. I mean, it's like a lot. There's a few songs that are amazing, and then the rest of it is. Yeah.
Oh, I love the Beatles.
Yeah,
I love the Beatles. I love the Beatles for who they are. I love the Beatles for what they represent. I love the Beatles. I really do. And I've only learned to love the Beatles probably within the last 6 years. Before that, I mean,
Lennon had some great lyrics, no doubt about it.
McCartney was the true musician. In my opinion,
amazing. McCartney's amazing.
He's amazing.
And then there's a band that maybe like they were huge with their following. They were huge when they came over to America, but then you look at them, what would they have been like if they had the types of sound systems that they have today? If they had because when they played at Fenway Park or whatever, when they did that baseball show, nobody could hear them because the crowd was too loud. So screaming. They couldn't even hear themselves playing on stage, for crying out loud. They didn't have good monitors or anything back then. So they're playing away and you can hear on the mics. But if you're at the show, you pay to take the chances of hearing what they played for an hour or whatever they played.
Yeah, it's like
you never hear it, right? So they never had great sound systems to play with, and their shows, the crowd was just so wild. Not to say that there's bands that the crowd isn't yelling throughout, but the sound system and everything are so different now. At least you can still hear it.
Yeah.
Funny that you say that, Bill. That was one of my takeaways from the Guess Who show. Is the music was pumped up a little bit too loud and the vocals a little bit too low, which drove me nuts. Because I'm a vocal guy, right? I'm a vocal guy.
Yeah.
So the music was a little too loud and the vocals were a little too low. That was one of my takeaways. So it's funny that you say that. But you talk about bands that have been together for years and years and years and years and years, which I think it's probably safe to say are very few and far between.
Very few
There's
and
more
far between,
there's
yeah.
more bands that break up within the first 4 or 5 years.
There's more bands
Then-
you've never heard of because they couldn't get
They
together.
couldn't get
They
going.
probably had great musicians, but they couldn't put it together.
And that's why, say what you want about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think it absolutely has a place in music and stuff. Like there's a lot of a lot of beef against Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees, and it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So should the Fugees be, and I have the only thing that I have a problem with is the name. Change the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame name, and you're good. You're good, because I think all of these bands that have been around 25 plus years, I think they deserve to be recognized. Because it's a feat. It's a marriage.
Yeah.
It's a marriage.
Hey man, if you put together one album, it's a feat, right? So
It's a slog. It's a slog. And then you even to write a song. I've tried writing a co-writing with people, and for the most part, it works out really, really well. But I mean, we just co-wrote 7 songs. We didn't co-write 7 albums,
right?
Or 7
Well,
years worth.
There's
I mean,
even
it's a slog.
The documentary that Metallica has out, and I think it's a couple parts actually, going back, and it was actually quite well done, because there you see a band that's not getting along.
Yeah.
You see them sitting in the recording studio. So you ever get a chance to watch that. And James Hetfield at that point too was going through some issues and sitting in the studio arguing with Lars, and then James storming out and slamming the studio door and then not coming back for 2 days. And then they actually hired a psychologist that came with them and was in the studio so they could work things out, and then watch them sitting at the tables together trying to talk. And James wanted more time. Really what he wanted was more time. Yeah, Some Kind of Monster. Watch that documentary if you want to see a band implode, and actual tape of these guys arguing with each other because they just couldn't get along, and James wanted more time to kind of have breaks.
Yeah.
And Lars always wanted to be in the studio. And then it's just it's quite the documentary to watch if you really want to see a band not getting along.
I just think it's a feat. I think it is the aberration as opposed to the rule, that when you get a band that actually comes together and actually can make an album and actually can go on tour, like that to me is an amazing occurrence.
Agreed.
And I think what we don't know about the bands that could have made it if their personalities would just allow themselves to be together, I think we've probably missed greater musicians than we currently know.
We know.
That would be my guess, right?
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, and you look at all these people, they come from, these super groups like Crosby, Stills and Nash. I mean, come from Buffalo, Springfield, they come from that. And then all of a sudden it's like, there's no wonder that they get together and they just scream, because it's like ultra talented.
Of course.
Like the cream of the crop, right?
And you got to look back too. You look back at those years, some of those bands when you're in the 70s and 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. You also have to factor in a lot of those bands in those times were experimenting, as we know, with all sorts of
something other than music.
Other than music.
Yeah.
So a lot of that affected those bands as well, right?
Good point. Yeah.
Because when they're fueled with alcohol or whatever drug that they happen to be taking at that time, and sometimes they created some really good music, but it also affected personalities to where things weren't getting along, or if you had the one band member that doesn't show up to rehearsal because he's been sitting out drinking all night, and or your lead singer or whatever, right? So Bon Scott from AC/DC, they find him dead in the back of a car, because he overdosed on alcohol that night.
Yeah,
right?
One of the bands that really amazes me though is Fleetwood Mac. Right?
Fleetwood Mac, yeah.
Because like during the Rumors album, like if you
they were married, they were couples.
I think a couple of them were married to each other, and the other one were married to each other, but the other one didn't know that they were married to.
But what's funny is that Stevie Nicks can write a song dissing Lindsey Buckingham, and Lindsey Buckingham plays guitar and sings harmony. It's like, you know what I mean? And then through the years they come and go, and the love comes and go, and the music comes and go, and they both realize, along with the others, that this is the best talent, this is the best chance I have at being this person. And they come and go through the years, and it's remarkable. And even during rumors that I don't know where I heard this, it must have been a rumor, but but that they were mostly so jacked up on all the drugs that they don't even remember some of the songs in the
Lindsay
studio.
she did a lot of drugs.
A lot of drugs, yeah.
Yeah,
a lot
she
Who,
of
talked-
Christine or Stevie?
No,
Stevie.
Stevie
did.
Nicks.
Oh,
Sorry, Stevie
did.
Nicks.
Stevie.
Stevie Nicks did a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
In
and
her
some
time.
of the songs, and they were like they said they were in a perpetual stupor during rumors. And rumors, I don't know how long rumors was on Billboard, but I think it was on for 11 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely right, Cliff.
She-
And that's what amazes me is you hear all of these drug induced nights
Yeah.
and these menage a trois with people in the band, yet that is one of the most endearing albums
Mhm.
of all time.
And that goes to a greater point, doesn't it? That it goes to a greater point. And I'll make it in a second here. What does it say?
Rumors was 30
31 non-consecutive weeks
At number
on
one.
Billboard 200 was charted for hundreds of weeks. Billboard 200 hundreds of weeks. Yeah. I was on Billboard for like 11 years or something.
Yep.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks had a really bad cocaine problem apparently.
And I think the album that dethroned Fleetwood Mac,
Was Michael Jackson.
Thriller.
Thriller.
Mhm.
That's right.
Michael
That's
Jackson.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say was that lends itself, Podlie, what you said about they were how they were all hopped up on drugs, and then menage a trois and
Mhm.
all the relationships and all that sort of stuff. I firmly believe that is what lent itself to the music.
Mhm.
You cannot be a happy-go-lucky dude and write music. You cannot be a happy-go-lucky dude who has a linear life, school, university, marriage, kids, blah blah, house, picket fence. You cannot be that person, I don't think, and be a good writer, be a good musician, be a good lyricist. I don't think it's possible. I think you need the human condition. I think the human condition needs to be explored from all of the aspects of hurt and everything else in order to be able to produce.
I was gonna, you answered it, but I was gonna ask. So then in order to write songs and albums like that, do you need drama or do you need experience? And you
Need both.
I
you
think that's
answered it
kind of
by
both.
saying the human condition.
All right, I
Absolutely
got to
right.
jump in because it's that
Absolutely
time. We got a minute, just under a minute
Ladies and
left.
gentlemen, thank you for showing up this evening. I appreciate your input. I speak for the three of us when I tell you we never take your time for granted. This was a very different discussion. Those of you who watched it, happy to do so. And please like the share it as well. And thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification and get your friends to subscribe as well. We're here every Saturday morning. Other than we will not be here on the 20th. So we will not be here next week, but we will be back after that. And hopefully I won't be all shriveled up from the 40-degree heat in Las Vegas. All right, everybody, have a
Might
great
come back looking as brown as
Have a great week.
Have a great
everybody.
week,
Thank you guys
everybody.
so much.
See you all
Stay
later.
happy.